Guys, we almost had a problem. Man, there's just something about a FOXBODY, right? I don't know how to explain it, but if you've ever owned one, you know what I'm talking about. These cars are just awesome. Just the way they look, the character that they have, the looks that they get. These things are just super fun. This video is going to be about just kind of telling you some of the little issues that you're going to run into if you are looking for a FOXBODY. But there's a few things you need to know first. If you are not very mechanically inclined, if you don't own any tools, do not buy a FOXBODY. I'm just going to be honest with you. Don't buy a FOXBODY. Unless, of course, you have plenty of money to send it to the shop and let somebody else work on it. And to be completely honest with you, as much as I love these cars, that is something that you will be doing a lot of, because there's a lot of little things with these cars that go wrong. So today, I'm just going to kind of go over some of the common issues with a FOXBODY if you're looking to buy one. Most of these can be fixed right in the driveway. Let's get started. Let's talk about just some of the few issues that you might run into with a FOXBODY. And let's just kind of start on the outside, because that's the easiest way to do this. So water comes in right along this seal. Most of the time, the top of the seal here is perfectly fine. That's not the issue. What the issue actually is the top of the door. Let's see if I can move it for you guys. See how the top of the door moves? Look at that. Now, from what I understand, one of my good friends explained this to me. He knew somebody that worked at Ford, and the way Ford used to fix this, because it was an issue back when these cars were new, come in, either put a board across it or just grab it like this and actually bend the top of the window in. You don't do it much. Just try a little. You can always come back later and do more. If your doors leak but your seals are good, almost 100% of the time, that's what it's going to be. Now, there's usually an issue back here with the way that the trunk shuts. Okay, I'm not going to go through the whole process with you today to fix this, but down here is a bushing right here. Most of the time that bushing is deteriorated and fallen off. So if your hatch is not shutting, just, you know, don't get too concerned about it. This is a pretty easy fix. You can actually loosen this up and slide it up or down. Typically it needs to go up and usually like over one way or the other, so that it lines up with this. But you're going to need to put that bushing back. This has had a fix done to it, but they make the bushings, LMR sells them. Put that bushing on, and what that does is just grab more of this and allows it to lock down and cinch tight. Also, even if you do get it to close down here without a bushing around it, what's going to happen is this hatch is going to rattle because it's not secure in here. Don't worry if your trunk doesn't shut like that. See that? No issue. So let's also talk about doors and why they don't shut right. Now, these doors on this car shut really good, but this is actually adjustable right here. So all you have to do, I think it's a T45 if I'm not mistaken, maybe a T50, but anyway, you can loosen these up and you can move this in or out, and actually up or down just a little bit. And what that'll do is allow the door to actually close tighter. Now, this does work in conjunction with this top rail. So if you've got this slid way out, right, and the striker hits it really early, let's say the door closes like that, so that's as far as the door can go now, then you're obviously going to have some major issues up here. So make sure that your door shuts good and tight. Then once your door shuts good and tight, then you can come up here and adjust on these. The quarter windows on these cars. Now, this is what it is. These get very expensive, so you're just gonna have to decide whether you want to replace these quarter windows or just leave them. I'm gonna tell you now, they stopped making the factory car light windows. You can't get these anymore that I know of. Maybe somebody will bring them back, but as of right now, the only ones you can get do not have the word Mustang in it. Me personally, I would rather try to fix these or find another used set than to put the ones without the Mustang in it. That's just me. That was just something about these cars I always liked. But this is going to be a common issue, unless it's obviously been garage kept and whatnot. You're gonna have these issues, and what happens is they just shrink up. I mean, look at this. Now, it's still sealed, so don't be fooled. This car was originally white, obviously, but it actually has butyl. I think it's down in here, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember exactly where it's at. They have butyl on them that actually seal them up. This does not seal the car up. So just be aware, you know, if you can live with these looking like that, don't worry about it, because they actually do not affect the window at all as far as it leaking or whatnot. But these are very expensive windows if you have to replace them. Now they can be replaced in a matter of an hour or two, depends on how efficient you are. So let's go to the interior of the car. Not a lot really goes wrong with these cars on the inside. You know, your switches are bad about going out. These will actually get really hot and can cause a fire if you're not careful. And also the dimmer switch too. If you're going on a long trip, do not run both headlights and fog lights. I recommend that anyway, unless you're running LEDs. If you're running LEDs, then I wouldn't worry too much about it. Also, your oil pressure gauge, they act crazy. They're up and down half the time. You know, car warms up, they'll fall. Now you would think to yourself, oh, okay, well that's a sign that the motor's worn out. Not necessarily, but actually once it gets hot, it doesn't want to act right sometimes. So it's not a matter of the oil thinning out and the motor not having as much oil pressure. It can be, but I suggest if you're really serious about buying one of these cars, you really want the car but the oil pressure is just kind of all over the place, either get the person to replace the sending unit, or you go buy one yourself and slap it on the car, and if that doesn't fix it, then there you go, there's your answer. But if it does fix it, you know what, you just got the car that you wanted, and maybe you even get a better deal on it. The AC on these cars, usually you don't have a whole lot of problems with them. A lot of times the condenser may be broken or something like that, may have a leak in it. So that's something you can look into. If you get into one of these cars and it just doesn't have AC on it, say it's been completely stripped off of it, you know what, it's still not the end of the world. 600 bucks, you can have your whole new AC unit. But with that being said, most of the time it's just low on Freon because either the condenser or one of the lines is leaking somewhere. No big deal. And the compressors on these cars are pretty cheap too if it's just the compressor. Ashtray lids, oh my god, these things are notorious for doing this. They've been doing this for years and years. But don't worry, LMR sells a kit where you can come back and fix this and make it look like new. I think all in all you'll have 40 or 50 bucks in everything if you had to buy it all. Maybe not even that much. Don't worry, all of us have broken ashtray lids. Well, or at least we used to. We've pretty much fixed them now. But as far as the interior, I mean, that's about it. You're gonna have issues with your door panels, so don't be too concerned about this. All of our door panels are screwed up unless somebody has really meticulously maintained their car or they've either put new door panels on it. These pads, everything can be replaced individually. This can be replaced by itself. This pad can be bought by itself. Even these pieces right here, I don't know if a lot of people know about it, but they actually come apart from the inside. You can pull that out. So don't be afraid to buy a car that's got a little bit of door panel issue. That's no big deal. Everything can be purchased individually. I do recommend upgrading the alternators. That needs to be kind of one of the first things that you do. If you're trying to keep your car completely factory, you can always just put that alternator up. And if you go to sell the car, you can put it back on. But I do recommend upgrading the alternator because they have been known to catch on fire, and that's not a good thing. But when you are looking at a car, any car, your car, a car you're gonna buy, always check under the hood and make sure that all the fittings are there and secure. Let me tell you why. So, to jump off on a completely different subject for a second, you all know my buddy Ray's car caught on fire and burned to the ground. It was a complete loss. We don't know exactly what happened, but my theory is something along these lines. All right, this is why I say look under the hood of your car before you go anywhere or do anything. Do you guys see that? Look at that. It was just, actually it was just like that whenever I first found it. Let me see if I can push this up. Okay, I can't fix that with the camera in my hand, but that was not locked in. It was just an oversight, but that little fuel line could cause this car to completely burn to the ground, and there would be nothing you could do about it. Please guys, be safe out there. I'm gonna go ahead and address that today, fix it. But there you go. If I had to guess on Ray's car, that's more than likely what happened, something along those lines. We've talked about it, we don't really know for sure, but more than likely that's what happened. You do want to look for rust, obviously, but this is very generic. I mean, you're going to want to look for rust on any car. Problem areas on the FOXBODY, I mean, there's not really. Under the battery, you know, you can usually check under there, but this is going to be pretty much like I said with any car, especially any older car. Not a lot to really say. As far as under the car, the radiator support right here, they're pretty bad about getting hit and whatnot. You would be surprised at how many people try to actually pull the car with a chain or with a rope or something by the radiator support, or jack up on the car at the radiator support with a jack. So that's a no-go. Please don't do that. The torque boxes, I can't get under there and show you. I'll show you a picture of ripped torque boxes right here. It's kind of hard to see unless you know what you're looking for, but this is what I'm talking about as far as torque boxes. Now that usually happens whenever you take your car to the track and you put a set of sticky tires on it and you're making a little bit of power. There's a good chance you might rip the torque boxes. Most stock Mustangs aren't going to rip the torque boxes. You don't really have to worry about that. A car like this with the supercharger and a built motor, yeah, it very well could. Get under there if you can, check the torque boxes. Also just check for slop in the suspension of these cars. Although once they get old, they're going to have a little bit of slop in them. So I don't write things down. I just kind of shoot from the hip because I like to leave this open-ended. In the comment section down below, please go in if you've got any tips, any pointers for anybody about buying one of these cars, or if you've bought one, things to look out for. Just post it down below. Help everybody out. Let them know what's going on with these Fox bodies. But at the same time, one other quick thing. I have a video that I am making for the channel. I'm not going to say the name of it, but I will tell you this. It's going to be a really cool video, and I need your pictures. So I need pictures when you were a kid with a Mustang, or with your kids with a Mustang, because I'm going to be putting together a video and I'm going to need those pictures. And I would love to include pictures of all my subscribers. So please, by all means, go to Instagram, message me on Instagram the pictures that you'd like for me to use in the video. And if I can, I will use the picture in my upcoming video. It's gonna be really cool. It's just kind of a tribute to the Fox body and our passion, our love, and how we share that passion and love with our kids. So I think it's really cool. I don't know how long the video is going to take me because it's probably going to be a pretty long video. Anyway, I do have the thumbnail made for it, so kind of got a feel for what I want the video to be. Anyway, if you are interested, like I said, once again, go to Instagram and send me a message of the pictures that you would like for me to use in the upcoming video. Well, all right, guys, that's going to wrap this up. I basically just kind of wanted to talk to you about a couple of little things that you might run into with Fox bodies. There are a ton more, I can promise you that. They are older cars and they are going to have issues, so please be aware of that. But like I said, this is a perfect opportunity for all my subscribers. Go down to the comments below and help everybody out. Leave a comment, leave a tip on what to look for on Fox bodies, because we could all benefit from that. Anyway, as always, thanks for watching. We almost had a problem. That is gas. You remember what I was telling you about always check your vehicles, check under the hood, because things happen. It just happened. Let me try to get some of this gas off the paint here. We just had a conversation about this. This was just spraying like all the way out here. Okay guys, I'm gonna end the video. I've got to fix this like right now. Okay, so I'm back out here to give you an explanation of what just happened. Now, this was a complete oversight on my part also. I was just filming a video right over here about the car, and I had commented on this because it was actually loose. Okay, I can't fix that with the camera in my hand. So what do? I finish the video up, and then I back the car up to get my thumbnail. And when I did, luckily I had the hood up on the car. And as I'm backing the car up, I could see gas shooting out. Keep in mind, the car's still running when this is happening. We are so lucky that the gas was spraying that way and not this way, because it would have hit the distributor, and there's a good chance that this car also would have caught on fire. I just got done in the video saying always check under the hood of your car, because stuff like this comes loose, you know. I mean, let's say you didn't hear the click when you put that fuel line in. Maybe you thought you did, and you get a few miles down the road or a few weeks later, this thing vibrates loose and it starts squirting fuel out. What's going to happen? This car is going to catch on fire, and there's almost nothing you can do about it with a gas fire like this. We got lucky. We got very lucky. Like I said, the car was running when this happened, and I mean, it was shooting like, I can't even back up far enough. It was shooting out all the way over here. Just a huge mist. That was my fault. I should not have moved the car once I saw that. I just forgot about it. This goes to show, though, accidents happen. We're all human. It had not been leaking, so don't misunderstand. I guess as I'm trying to show you guys in the video and I'm wiggling on the line, I guess it caused it to break free enough to shoot gas out. So
high volume, high volume.